Hello, everybody. Thempyrean here with more new cards from the Limit Over Collection Rivals. I will never remember this name first try. It is just, it does not make sense in my brain. Anyways, this thing has a card now. Holy moly. I never expected this card to actually see print. And I'm going to be saying that a lot this time. There's a lot of cards in this set that I thought were never going to see print. This one's going to force me to rewrite my video essay, because I'm making a video essay about fan-made cards, and this one was designed by the art rather. Not the card effect, but the art itself was designed by a fan and then made it into GX, but was never actually made into a real card. And now it is one. It's called Demiurge Emma. I forget what the Emma means. I'll have it in the video essay. Check out the video essay when it comes out. And that's exactly the art that's exactly what the art looks like in the show. So there you go. Level 8 Light Fairy Effect Monster, 3300 attack, 2000 defense. Only use the first and second extra once per turn. Send 4 monsters with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense from your hand, deck, and or field face-up field to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. What the fuck? That is not what it did in the anime. In the anime, it does... this card gains 800 attack for each homunculus token on the field. When this card is destroyed, destroy all homunculus tokens on the field. It is also... Let's see. It works with Blue Moon... and the card that summons homunculus tokens, which I don't... There's another card in there. Shadow Moon. Shadow Moon's the other card. Send 4 level 5 or higher monsters with different attributes from your hand or your side of the field to the graveyard. Activate Blue Moon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Special summon a Demiurge Emma from your deck or graveyard. So they're combining Shadow Moon into Demiurge Emma's effect. That's what's going on. Oh, also, since we already have the Wikipedia page up, we can actually see what the play on the first syllable is the Japanese word for continuous spell. It's a little pun on continuous spell. See? So they made it more specific to Monarchs, because I believe the person who plays this is the Monarch player from GX. T-Bone, yeah, the Monarch guy, right? Rock deck uses the Monarch. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so they made it, instead of just sending whatever the fuck you want, you send Monarch specifically. That seems like it could be kind of crazy, though. I don't know. What are the best targets for this? Let me know in the comments below. You could target 1 spell trap on each field, destroy them. That's the homunculus part. Special summon 1 homunculus token. Yeah, they're doing the homunculus part to each field, and if you do, this card gains 1600 attack. So instead of turning the spells into homunculus tokens, it destroys them and then makes the homunculus tokens, which works a little bit easier for the rules of the game, but not as funny. So, a little disappointing. I'm just... Delg has an effect on special summon, so you could special summon it out from the grave to do some stuff. It's not doing Squire stats. Oh, is that where they get the Squire stats from? Is the homunculus tokens? That's cute. That's cute. There's Eidos, of course. If you can summon that. Is there a way to summon Monarchs out from the grave? I actually don't remember. I'm not super familiar with Monarchs at the current state. Haven't played against them much on Genesis Ladder because I play on Dueling Nexus, and nobody knows how to play good cards on Dueling Nexus. I should really start playing on Omega just to get players who actually know what they're doing. There's always Karaz, of course. I don't know. I don't know what interesting things... I feel like there's got to be interesting things you can do with Emma, right? And at the very least, at the cost of, sending a bunch of guys to the graveyard that you could theoretically revive at some point, you get a free body on field. Seems all right, right? And it can make more free bodies on field by doing spell trap removal. Like that's pretty good. All right, next up, Lord of Darkness, yet another fan-made Yu-Gi-Oh card that then came into the GX anime. This one had a sprint of time where it was a common appearance in the Yu-Gi-Oh Tag Force games. I think it might have appeared in some of the other games too. But the primary place you might have seen this is Yu-Gi-Oh Tag Force, where it was called Load of Darkness instead of Lord of Darkness. With this, we don't actually know what its TCG name is going to be yet. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just calling it Lord of Darkness. But as far as we know, it could still be Load of Darkness. A lot of people might just assume, like, there's two theories of why it's called Load of Darkness. Like, one, it is just like a big mass of flesh. It could just be a load of darkness. But of course, the more seemingly obvious one is it's just kind of a mistranslation of Lord. They just fucked up when they were typing Lord and put an A. I don't know if that's like it's possible. I mean, like when if it was written out, R and A are kind of in a similar spot. Or I don't know. Regardless, in the Tag Force games, you'll see this guy as Load of Darkness, and I don't know. Maybe we'll see that here. Maybe they'll just keep that going. I don't know. This guy is like a mirror guy. He's got let's pull up his anime shit too. Okay, so this guy originally says this card cannot be destroyed by battle. This card cannot attack a player directly. If this card destroys a monster by battle, inflicts 700 damage to your opponent. And then there is another card. Yeah, here we go. Infinite Fiend Mirror. Here's the one that Load of Darkness works with. Well, it's a face-up. It's a field spell, and it says while there's a face-up Load of Darkness on the field, special summon a Load of Darkness token in each of its owner's empty monster zones during each of the end phases. It has the same type, attribute, level, attack, and defense, and monster effects of Load of Darkness. When Load of Darkness is on the field, destroy all Load of Darkness token. So this just at the end of every turn, well, at the end of every one of your turns, rather, it makes another Lord of Darkness token, or in this case, Load of Darkness. For this Lord of Darkness, let's see what's going on here. Level 10 Dark Fiend effect monster, 3,000 attack, 1,000 defense. You special from this card from your hand by attributing 2 fiends or fairy monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, you can special summon as many Lord of Darkness tokens. Okay, so once again, we're eschewing the field spell and just adding its effects to the card itself. Probably for the best, honestly, to make these cards actually playable. That's actually kind of an interesting strategy for like a lot of theoretical GX imports, right? And you make the Lord of Darkness tokens. They have the same stats as possible to your field, but they cannot attack directly or be destroyed in battle. Destroy them when this card is destroyed. Also, you can't special for the rest of this turn. If a monster is destroyed by battle, inflict 700 damage to your opponent. So it's got a lot of the same stuff. It's just so the Lord of Darkness tokens don't get these same effects, including the damage them. But all this effect, instead of being on Infinity Mirror, is on Lord of Darkness, and also just special summons them all at the same time instead of at the end of every turn. I wonder. I mean, this isn't. We have that new card that I was talking about for Yubel in the last video that can search this card. I don't know if it's a great way to search it. There's probably other ways you can search this card. You just need to tribute 2 fiends or fairy monsters. That's a special summon, so it doesn't take up a normal. And then you just get a bunch of tokens that you can use as link material. Doesn't lock you in any way. I wonder if there's anything you could do with this. I don't know. I have to see what people do with it. Guy who makes a bunch of tokens is a common archetype for breaking some shit. So, I don't know. We'll see. Doesn't say anything about... Oh wait, cannot special for the rest of this turn. So there you go. So you have to make them survive a turn. That seems pretty bad. Yeah, okay. Never mind then. This guy is just going to be languishing. By the way, if any of you have ever found the concept art for Emma or Lord of Darkness, I'm pretty sure these ones were missing. And the fan made, let me see. These ones were missing. Yeah. Demiurge Emma and Lord of Darkness are some of the ones that are missing concept art. If any of you know where you can find the concept art for these, they're just held to start doing a contest during Yu-Gi-Oh! GX on the OCG side of things. If they were ever published somewhere and you can find them, let me know because I would love to have that info. All right. Next up, another spell used by the Monarch Kid, if I'm remembering correctly at least. Kaminari, Lightning Crash. Normal spell card, you can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. Add a thunder monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, you cannot normal summon set monsters with its name until the end of the next turn after this card resolves. So theoretically, this is like supposed to be a Monarch support card that gets you into Zaborg or Mega Zaborg, which recently just went to 100 points in Genesis, but then means you can't summon it that turn. You have to wait till the turn afterwards. However, are there perhaps any other Thunder cards that don't care if you normal summon them? Would perhaps be fine with being special summoned or activating in the hand or any number of other things. I wonder if perhaps there might be some of those. This is Bonfire for Thunders. We have Bonfire for Thunders now. And it's got Zaborg on there. It's actually, in some ways, better than Bonfire. It still has the hard ones per turn. But it doesn't have any limitation on what you add. Bonfire did, right? Yeah, level 4 or lower. And the only restriction on this is that you can't normal summon them, which, rules out some hits. Like your Hunders or whatever, but you weren't playing Hunders anyways. But what you can do is you can do some Thunder Dragon stuff. Thunder Dragon, could use the support too, so it's not a huge issue. I think the one that is the biggest for me right off the top of my head is the Nemesis card. That one Nemesis card. And this is only going to matter in formats where Colossus is legal. But that one Thunder Nemesis card, Corridor, that you can, so it's a Thunder, you could search with that, and then it special summons itself. It's affected, activated in the hand, and then you can make Colossus. And this makes it like really consistent, theoretically. I remember a lot of decks that were running Corridor didn't actually have a way to search Corridor. But of course, any deck that can make just a rank 4 can search Flag, and then Flag can search Corridor. So it's kind of a moot point. I wonder what other things you can do with this, though. Can you make a Thunder Dragon engine with this, like a small Thunder Dragon engine? That'd be really interesting to see. I think this is a cool card. I love consistency pieces. I like this a lot. All right. Dark tuners. Dark tuners are here. We already have the dark synchros. They didn't make them actual dark synchros. You can still make them the normal way. But they are now bringing the dark tuners. So let's see what they do. Dark tuner Catastrogue. It's a good name. Level 8 Dark Fiend tuner effect monster, 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card name once per turn. You reveal this card in your hand. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 Dark Tuner monster. Cool. I hope you don't expect me to tribute summon this card. Once per turn, if you control this normal summon or set card, you can tribute this. Apparently, they do expect me to tribute summon this card. You can tribute this face-up card and 1 face-up non-tuner with a lower level. And if you do, special summon 1 synchro monster from your extra deck with a level equal to difference between those monsters' levels. This is treated as a synchro summon. And then you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. So they let you do the dark synchro effect. They let you do the dark synchro. And it's awful. It's terrible. What a dog shit card. At least it gives you a normal summon of a dark tuner. So let's see what the other dark tuner does. Oh, it's a level 10 monster. Because he has to be a higher level to accomplish the dark synchro. A level 10 Dark Warrior Tuner effect monster, 0 attack, 0 defense. You'll use the first effect this card you must return. Reveal this card in your hand immediately after this effect resolves. Normal summon a Dark Tuner monster. Oh, interesting. How? with what material? I guess at least they are giving you the extra normal to tribute them on top of stuff. You can set up stuff with your whatever normal combo you're doing, and then make these guys, and then you could make Frozen Fitzgerald. Ooh. Oh boy, we can make Frozen Fitzgerald. I guess you can make normal synchro monsters this way, but like, why would you want to when you could make Frozen Fitzgerald, a dark tuner and a non-tuner beast white type monster? If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell or trap cards at the end of the damage step. Wow! This card is destroyed by battle, sent to the graveyard. You control no monsters. You can discard one card, special summon card from the graveyard into face-up defense position. That's so powerful. Wow. So strong. Anyways, what's the rest of this effect? If this card is normal summon, you can special summon a level 2 or lower monster from your hand. That helps a little bit. Once per turn, if you control this normal summon set monster, you contribute this face-up card in one face-up non-tuner and does the dark summon. Yeah. This one doesn't pop a card when it does the dark summon, though. These are really funny to finally have. They're not good. They're not good. Could you theoretically find some way to use them? Yes. Do I think these are ever going to be worth the trouble of doing that? Unlikely, unless there's a lot of support coming their way. But at least they're finally in the game. Speaking of finally in the game, which is maybe this is that's gonna be the fucking title of this one. Finally in the game. The Chaos End Ruler, ruler of the beginning and the end. It's a level 10 light warrior special summon effect monster with 3,500 attack, 2,000 defense. By the way, just a cool fucking name. What is this one? What is this one's deal? In the like, what's his chaos, and what's his deal? Ruler. The beginning and the end. Must be special summon. It's this. I think that's the same effect actually, but it appears in Zexal. That's where it comes from. I've never watched Zexal. I didn't realize they did the chaos stuff in Zexal. That's cool. The chaos stuff. What is the fiend you're supposed to be banishing? Like that's the cannot be normal summon must be first special summon by banishing a light warrior and a dark fiend from your graveyard. You can only use the third effect this card you must return. I don't know what the dark fiend is supposed to be. Actually, I'm not sure on that one. Maybe it's something. Can I? If I go to appearances, will it be there? No. It's shown in a commercial revealing the super rare deck of cards is being put on display. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, references Envoy of the Beginning and Chaos Emperor Dragon, right? And Chaos Emperor Dragon is a dragon, right? Yeah, it's a dragon. Why is it gotta banish a fiend? Huh. Weird. I don't know what the fiend is supposed to be. But the warrior is supposed to be Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. Only has a third effect this card is return. This card's special summon cannot be negated. Neither player can activate cards or effects when this card is special summoned. Do not interact with this summon. Fuck you. If you control this card summoned its own way, that's an interesting line of text. You can pay 1,000 life points, banish all cards your opponent controls and in their graveyard, and inflict 500 damage to them for each card banished this way. So it's a one-sided Chaos Emperor Dragon effect. If you look at we have the Chaos Emperor Dragon right here. It does more effect damage as well. So instead of sending all your stuff and the opponent's stuff and then inflicting 300 for each, it just sends the opponent's stuff and then inflicts 500 for each instead. Is this card good? No. Is it funny? Yes. Like I can't imagine. Look, well, okay. I can imagine a way that you can make a YouTube combo that kills with this card. I cannot imagine a good deck that kills with this card. That's the distinction here. So until that day happens, funny card. Next up, we're almost to the end here. Hyper Rank Up Magic Ultimate Force. That's a lot of superlatives. Thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh! I love Yu-Gi-Oh, dude. Normal spell card. Target a rank 9 or lower Utopia or Utopic Xyz monster you control, whose original light is attribute is light. Special summon a rank 10 or higher number Xyz monster from your extra deck using that monster you control as material. This is treated as an Xyz7 transfers material, and if you do, attach this card to it, so it also gives it additional material of itself. A number 99 Xyz monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a monster effect during the battle phase, quick effect, they attach all materials from this card, and if you do, destroy all monsters they control. Funny. Let's check out number 99. 99, Dragonar, and Dragon. And of course, these are the ones you can rank up into because they're both level 10 or rank 10 or higher. You can't make what is the? Yeah, you can't make the other guy because he's like number some. He's not like a real rank, right? Utopic Zexal. You can't make him because he's not a. Yeah, he's not. He's always treated as rank 1. Okay, cool, perfect. I was just worried about that, but I figured that was the case. Anyways, number 99. They're like, Dragonar is a really good card already. Like, it's already something you want to make in Zexal, or in Zexal, in the Utopic deck. Dragon has, like, always been a bit of a weird one. I don't think anyone makes this one, right? But hey, what you could do is you can make them even easier now with this rank up force, and then they get a board wipe. Is that something that Utopic needed? I don't know. I don't play Utopic. That deck is a lot of combos to do. Well, I mean, it's a build-a-board. It does a lot if you get to build the board, but quite frequently you don't get to build the board. And then we have, lastly, and perhaps the strongest of all these, maybe, Perfectron Hydra Drive Dragon from Vrains. Perfectron Hydra Drive Dragon. What a name. It kind of looks like a Blackluster Soldier card, doesn't it? Or like it's part of the Nova Corps. Thank you, Marvel. A Link 5 Earth Cybers Link Effect monster. 5,000 attack. Bottom left, bottom right. Materials. 1 or more Link monsters. 1. If you have a Link 5, you can just make this card. Now I want you to think if there's a Link monster that you can make, a Link 5 monster that you can make fairly easily that you might want to convert into another monster in a theoretical situation. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World is a pretty good instant Hydra Drive. The problem is nobody's really playing her right now, and if you do play her, you'd have to include an extra spot in the extra deck for Hydra Drive, and everything is just so tight these days. But let's see what it does. If this card is Link Summon, or if it battles, at the end of the damage step, destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, then inflict 300 damage to them for each Link monster in your graveyard. Now let's see. What's 8,000 divided by 300? 8,000 divided by 300 is 27. Well, you're probably not getting that many in there. But I will remind you, this is a 5,000 attack monster. I don't know. It's a little scary. While face up on the field, this card is also light, water, fire, and wind attribute. unaffected by the activated effects of monsters that share an attribute with this card. So it starts off as an earth. It gains light, water, fire, and wind. So it could only be affected by dark. That's the only one that affects it is dark monsters. Granted, dark is like the highest power attribute in the game, but there's a lot of decks that, like, at this point in time, there's a lot of decks that aren't purely dark or anything. Like, there's a lot that aren't really that trapped in one attribute anymore. So there's just a lot that just can't affect this thing with their activated effects. And then 3, if this card would destroy a battle or card effect, you can make it lose exactly 1,000 attack instead. So even if you do get through that, if it's a destruction effect, you can just lower this by 1,000. And it's got 5 of those things. It's got 5,000 attack. I think the biggest argument for why this card wouldn't see play is just that it takes up another extra deck slot in addition to the Underworld Goddess that would have to be used to make it. Unless you're in a deck that tends to make Link 5s anyways. And those are, pretty few and far between. It's Code Talker and Adagnister and Malice? Does Malice make Link 5s often? I don't know that they do they? Anymore? I don't actually know what I don't actually know what Malice is doing anymore after the most recent ban list, really. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what this ends up doing. What is this guy gonna end up doing? Very, very curious. I could see him being nothing or like pretty game determinative in some cases. The one thing, I wonder if he's a little bit win more. Like, by the time you get the Link 5, like, are you already winning, right? And you don't really need this guy. But like, it could just be that like you get the white woman jump scare happening, and then Hydra Drive comes on and then closes out a game for you, right? It could be that, or it could be that you've already won by that point, right? Using your opponent's monster as material. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of Underworld cards. I should have figured that. Of course, you don't have to use a Link 5 to make Hydra Drive either. You can use a Link 3 and a Link 2, which Malice can make quite easily, even like at this point. There's all sorts of ways to make this guy, because he can literally just, it's 1+, it doesn't have to be just 1. It can be 2, 3, 4. He's not anything on an end board, at least. He's very much a finish the game kind of card. And I think I like that. I don't like that he's unaffected. I feel like, although it makes him better to use as so the unaffected stuff simultaneously makes him better on an end board, but also like just a better chew through and kill card. And so I'm kind of two minds about that, right? I'm not a huge fan of towers in general. I don't like uninteractive stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh! as much anymore. I used to like towers are really, really cool when you're the one playing them, but they're really, really not cool when you're playing against them, and they necessitate cards like kaijus, which are really, really unfun when all of a sudden your cool tower that you spent a lot of resources into gets outed by a fucking turtle. I think towers inherently lead to really unfun gameplay. Like either they are dominating and they are the only they're just completely annihilating shit, or they require combos that are really easy to stop and thus create you're not able to do your thing that vaunted commander phrase, be able to do your thing. Or you do your thing and you're completely unoutable until they have the kaiju and they just wipe you out. Those are like the 3 scenarios for Towers gameplay, and I think all 3 of them kind of suck. I think the best option for Towers, because I think Towers gameplay is a legitimate, like, fun thing, but like I think the way it needs to be handled is less like a full Towers and more limited Towers, and I think this is closer to that than like a full pure Towers where it's unaffected by everything. This is unaffected by light. It's unaffected by everything but dark monsters. But dark monsters can just get at it. But I'm not super fan of that. I really prefer things that's like can't be destroyed by battle. Or in this, I love this effect. If it would be destroy a battle or card effect, make it lose 1,000 attack. So that way it has a limit to how long it can be a Towers. If all these if the unaffected thing was only as like if the unaffected thing had the same deal with the attack stat, I would love this card. I would think this card is so fucking cool. That's actually, I think that might actually be I am now just conceptualizing this. I think my ideal Towers scenario is a Towers that like becomes not a Towers as you interact into it. So it takes a lot of interaction to get rid of. It takes disproportionate interaction for its like card count, its card advantage pure. So it gets that Towers gameplay without being completely unoutable. Maybe it shouldn't have 5 instances of that, though. That's kind of crazy. That's something to think about, though. For me, particularly, I've for reasons. I've got reasons. But yeah, I think some really interesting cards here. I'm glad we're seeing some of these cards finally come out of the anime and into the card game. As always, there's just so many of them that we haven't done yet, and I like that they're, unlike you as they have done for like years now, they're not just slapping just spitting the card out unchanged. They changed them to a degree, but I really love the way they've combined Emma with all the other cards, and the way they've combined Lord with its other card to make them more significant in their power level. Really cool. I like the way they modernize these cards to fit the current, well, not exactly to fit the current, but, more fit the current than otherwise. And make really cool draft cards or potentially like domain cards, something like that. I don't know about that, but certainly you could make some interesting cues with some of these cards. But yeah, really, really cool cards. Generally, I've been very happy with card design over the past few sets. I really like this change in direction where every card has something interesting going on, if not like actually being a good card. A really positive change, I would say. Yeah, great. Let me know what you think, though, down below. Any cool synergies with these cards you're thinking of? Let me know down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey there, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I got a lot more for you if you want them. Just hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications. I'd also appreciate if you left me a like and a comment and maybe shared the video around with your friends. You can also follow me on all the usual social media sites and find my other YouTube channels and Twitch channel by checking out my website in the description below for all those links. My videos are funded by my patrons, Ko-fi subscribers, and YouTube members whose names you'll see scrolling by in these credits here. For just $1 a month, you too can find yourself here, trapped in my end screen for all eternity, among other benefits. In particular, I'd like to thank Jeremy Coatney, Frog Prince Michael, Beastsman, Beelzis, Fleakill, Fire Mizumi, Golden Nova, Haru Hayes, Squish, and the almighty Ferret Lord. A big thanks to all my other patrons and to my little community as a whole. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful, whatever time it is for you. Bye!